Behind closed doors of luxury homes, wedding anniversaries can become murder scenes. The champagne chills, flowers arrive, and someone plots their spouse's last breath. For Christopher Reynolds, CEO of a $300 million tech security empire, and his wife Natalia, their 13th anniversary wasn't just another milestone, it was the culmination of a meticulous plan. As Christopher arranged Natalia's favorite roses in crystal vases and selected vintage champagne for their celebration, his mind calculated something else entirely: the perfect murder. Their affluent neighborhood in the Pacific Northwest buzzed with admiration for the power couple. Designer suits, charity galas, handshakes with politicians. Their public life gleamed with success. 13 years of marriage displayed on social media like a museum exhibit of perfect love. But perfection rarely exists. That evening, as Natalia posted her final photo caption, 13 years with my soulmate, lucky doesn't begin to describe it. She had no idea that within hours, her husband would transform their dining room into a crime scene, using the very award they'd received for philanthropy as his weapon. What transforms anniversary champagne toasts into a premeditated execution? How does someone watch their spouse prepare for celebration while plotting their death? What if the date marked on your anniversary gifts became the date on your death certificate? Tonight, we examine how 13 years of marriage between a powerful CEO and his transgender wife dissolved into one of the most calculated domestic homicides this decade has witnessed. If this story already has you questioning the nature of love and betrayal, hit that subscribe button now to join True Crime Hunter. We don't just tell stories, we reveal the masks people wear. Like this video, if you've ever wondered what truly happens when the front door closes on seemingly perfect lives, Christopher Reynolds embodied corporate excellence. At 42, he transformed a modest startup into a $300 million tech security powerhouse within a decade. His methodical approach to business earned him features in industry magazines and speaking slots at global conferences. Colleagues described him as brilliantly analytical, a mind that processed challenges as equations requiring logical solutions. His office displayed one framed motto: control creates certainty. This philosophy extended beyond business into every aspect of his carefully managed life. Natalia Reynolds, 39, complemented Christopher's clinical precision with magnetic warmth. A former software engineer who transitioned at 23, she navigated the tech world with remarkable grace. While Christopher built systems, Natalia built relationships, the connections that often secured crucial deals for their shared success. They balanced each other perfectly, remarked Diane Zhou, a longtime colleague. Christopher's genius needed Natalia's emotional intelligence. She translated his vision into language that made people invest emotionally, not just financially. Their first meeting at an industry conference became part of company lore. Christopher, then a promising entrepreneur, found himself captivated by the software engineer who challenged his presentation with insights he'd overlooked. That intellectual exchange evolved into dinner, which stretched into breakfast discussions about technological ethics and future possibilities. From their first date, Natalia disclosed her transgender identity, a fact Christopher claimed to accept completely. Friends confirmed her transparency. Natalia never hid who she was, Alexandra Walsh, her closest friend, later testified. She considered honesty the foundation of any meaningful relationship. Their courtship progressed with precision typical of Christopher: exclusive dating after 3 months, engagement at 1 year, marriage at precisely 18 months. Their wedding featured in local business publications as the union of two rising stars. The couple's home, a modernist glass and cedar structure overlooking lake waters, hosted fundraisers for arts organizations and LGBTQ+ youth programs. Their anniversary parties became legendary for their thoughtful details and generous donations announced at each celebration. Social media accounts displayed calculated perfection. Christopher in tailored suits beside Natalia in elegant dresses at charity galas, vacation photos from exclusive European destinations, professional achievements marked with tasteful celebrations. They embodied success, acceptance, and sophistication, a couple who appeared to have everything. Their image suggested that wealth, accomplishment, and modern love could coexist in perfect harmony. Yet beneath this flawless facade, Expectations collided with reality in ways no one witnessed until too late. Early in their relationship, Christopher and Natalia reached a mutual understanding about family planning. Their careers would take priority in the first years of marriage, with parenthood considerations postponed until their professional foundation solidified. This agreement, formalized through casual conversations rather than explicit discussions, suited both their ambitious natures. 5 years into marriage, as their company stabilized and expanded, the question of children naturally resurfaced. Initial conversations remained optimistic, with both partners exploring options available to them as a couple with Natalia's transgender identity as a factor. They approached it like any other project at first, Alexandra Walsh recalled. Christopher researched surrogacy agencies while Natalia connected with adoption specialists. They seemed aligned in their goal, just exploring different paths to achieve it. The first fracture appeared during their 6th anniversary dinner. A cousin's pregnancy announcement prompted Christopher to express unexpected intensity about continuing the Reynolds name. Friends noticed his increasing references to bloodlines and genetic inheritance in casual conversations. Private text messages later recovered from Christopher's phone revealed a troubling evolution. To his brother, "We're exploring options, but none give me what I really want. My own child, my own DNA. She can't give me that." By year 8, 2 adoption applications had been rejected. Outcomes Christopher privately blamed on Natalia's transgender status, despite agencies citing different reasons. Surrogacy consultations progressed further, but stalled over Christopher's insistence on using only his genetic material with an anonymous egg donor, a point Natalia contested, preferring a surrogate who would remain connected to their child's life. Their 10th anniversary marked a turning point. After excessive champagne, Christopher confronted Natalia about wasting their fertile years on compromise options. Friends intervened, but the incident exposed growing resentment. Christopher's journal entries, discovered during the investigation, showed obsessive calculations about his legacy timeline and dynasty potential. Entries grew increasingly focused on biological fatherhood. A man's immortality exists in his children. Without them, what remains of me in 100 years? Nothing. Have you ever seen someone transform when confronted with an unfulfilled desire? Watched as disappointment morphed into entitlement, then hardened into bitter obsession? The case files show Christopher's personality shifting gradually over years. A slow-motion collapse of rationality centered entirely on what he believed the world owed him: biological offspring to carry his name. The couple's first adoption application showed promise until the final interview. Agency staff noted Christopher's unusual fixation on physical resemblance questions. His follow-up calls demanding explanations for the rejection became so frequent that the agency director blocked his number. Their second attempt through a different organization progressed further. Home studies completed successfully, references checked positively. The couple met with birth mothers twice. Both selected other families, citing Christopher's intensity as concerning. After the second rejection, he stopped attending adoption counseling sessions, leaving Natalia to continue alone. Christopher's work colleagues noticed behavioral shifts. He used to mentor younger employees, noted Robert Takahashi, a board member. By year 11 of their marriage, he avoided anyone with family photos on their desk. Executive meetings featuring discussions about parental leave benefits triggered abrupt exits from Christopher, who previously supported such policies. His digital footprint revealed concerning patterns. On professional forums, he began challenging female executives about their family-work balance. His browser history showed increasing visits to men's rights forums discussing reproductive autonomy and paternity certainty. Most alarming were changes in his communication with Natalia. Their once affectionate text exchanges became functional and cold. Security footage from their home system showed Christopher watching Natalia from doorways, his expression calculating rather than affectionate. Grace Morrison, their former neighbor, recalled a disturbing interaction. During their 12th anniversary party, Christopher cornered me by the hors d'oeuvres table. "If you knew your biological clock was broken, wouldn't you feel obligated to tell potential partners?" he asked me. I laughed awkwardly, thinking he was making a poor joke. Now I understand he was testing justifications. Alexandra Walsh remembered how Christopher's gift selections for Natalia evolved from thoughtful tokens to pointed messages. Baby-focused artwork, family-themed literature, a DNA testing kit presented at a dinner party to awkward silence. Looking back, the progression seems obvious, but during each individual moment, those around them normalized his behavior as mere frustration. Comment below if you've ever missed warning signs in someone close to you. What subtle changes did you later realize signaled something more concerning? The night before their 13th anniversary began with champagne but concluded with shouting. Their housekeeper, Maria Delgado, provided crucial testimony about the heated exchange she overheard while collecting her belongings. Mr. Reynolds kept repeating 13 years wasted, while Mrs. Reynolds tried calming him, Delgado testified. When she mentioned trying adoption again, he slammed his glass down so hard it shattered. His exact words were, "I've waited 13 years for a real family." Morning arrived with practiced normality. Security footage captured Christopher leaving at 7:15 a.m. for a brief workout before stopping at a florist to collect pre-ordered arrangements. Natalia posted her final social media update at 8:23 a.m., a selfie with coffee captioned, "Anniversary morning, 13 years with my soulmate. Lucky doesn't begin to describe it." Phone records showed Christopher making 17 calls throughout the day, 3 to their regular caterer confirming dinner details, 5 to business associates about non-urgent matters, 4 to a private number later identified as his secret girlfriend, 2 to a liquor store specializing in rare champagnes, 3 to Natalia between 3 to 5 p.m. about mundane anniversary preparations. The timeline reconstructed by detectives revealed Christopher returned home permanently at 5:40 p.m. Natalia arrived at 6:15 p.m. from her therapy appointment, a standing weekly commitment Christopher had previously attempted to reschedule. Between 6:15 to 9:30 p.m., no calls were made from either phone. Their security system recorded no visitors or deliveries. Neighbors reported hearing music and occasional laughter until approximately 9 o'clock p.m. when the volume increased briefly before going silent. Christopher placed his 911 call at 10:17 p.m. "Someone broke in," he reported, voice controlled despite his claims of panic. "My wife is hurt badly. Please send help." When the dispatcher asked if he'd seen the attacker, his response contained the first contradiction. "They wore masks. Masks. I couldn't identify them." The plural shifted to singular midway through questioning. Police arrived at 10:23 p.m. to what Detective Olivia Torres later described as performance art disguised as violence. The dining room displayed obvious staging, chairs overturned at mathematically consistent angles, glass broken in patterns indicating deliberate scattering rather than chaotic struggle, and drawers pulled open without contents disturbed. Natalia's body lay positioned near the table, surrounded by anniversary gifts. Cause of death: strangulation followed by blunt force trauma from a Crystal Philanthropy Award the couple had received months earlier. Christopher's performance continued with theatrical grief. His clothes contained minimal blood despite claiming he'd held his wife after finding her. His knuckles showed fresh bruising inconsistent with his claim of fighting off an intruder. Most damning was the home's security system, designed by Christopher's own company, which showed no forced entry, no motion detector activations, and no alarm triggers during the alleged break-in. The anniversary dinner partially consumed remained on their plates. 2 champagne glasses, one empty, one nearly full. A calculated scene from a man who built his empire on systems and control. Detective Olivia Torres approached the Reynolds case with methodical precision. A 15-year veteran of homicide investigations, she recognized the hallmarks of staged crime scenes immediately. "The inconsistencies appeared within minutes of our arrival," Torres later explained at trial. The home showed no forced entry points. The security system logged no breaches. Most telling was the glass breakage pattern, fragments distributed too evenly, like someone deliberately scattered them rather than resulting from struggle. Torres built her case systematically. Hour 1. Security footage review revealed no unknown visitors. Hour 3. Blood spatter analysis contradicted Christopher's claim of holding Natalia. Hour 6. Autopsy indicated death occurred between 9:30 to 10 o'clock p.m., considerably earlier than Christopher's reported discovery time. The forensic examination delivered devastating contradictions to Christopher's narrative. His DNA appeared under Natalia's fingernails, yet he showed no defensive scratches. The murder weapon, their Crystal Philanthropy Award, bore only his fingerprints in a grip pattern, not the smudged prints expected if he'd merely handled it afterward. Toxicology reports showed sleeping medication in Natalia's system, a prescription she didn't have. Pharmacy records confirmed Christopher had filled a sleep aid prescription 3 days prior, claiming it was for his occasional insomnia. When Torres secured warrants for Christopher's devices, the case transformed from circumstantial to conclusive. His search history revealed months of preparation. Undetectable household poisons. How to stage home invasion. Death appears natural causes. Perfect alibi murder spouse. Countries without U.S. extradition. Most damning was Christopher's password-protected digital journal, recovered by forensic technicians. Entries dated back 6 months before the murder. 13 years. A man's prime reproductive years wasted on biological impossibility. I've calculated the remaining window for fatherhood with a new partner. Maximum viability, 5 to 7 years to find someone suitable, marry, and produce at least 2 children. The timeline requires resolution of current impediments by anniversary. Another entry, written just 1 week before their anniversary. The irony isn't lost on me. The day that commemorates our beginning will mark my freedom to start again properly. What would you look for first if you were investigating this case? Would you focus on the crime scene inconsistencies, digital evidence, or Christopher's behavior during questioning? Evidence hierarchies differ between investigators. Some prioritize physical evidence while others focus on behavioral indicators. Share your investigative approach in the comments below. While Detective Torres examined the crime scene, digital forensics uncovered Christopher's alternate reality. A second email account, creynolds.sawpersonal@gmail.com, revealed a relationship spanning 11 months with Veronica Winters, a 28-year-old financial analyst at a competing firm. Their correspondence painted Christopher as an unhappily married man trapped in a relationship that couldn't provide what he deserved. No mention of murder appeared in these exchanges, but his timeline for departure matched precisely with the anniversary date. By mid-July, I'll be free to pursue what matters most, he wrote 3 weeks before the murder. The current situation makes children impossible, but with you, I see the family I've always wanted. 2 boys, perhaps a girl. My name continuing through generations. Veronica, interviewed as a witness, expressed horror at the revelation. He told me his wife understood they would separate after their anniversary, a mutual decision due to incompatible family goals, she testified. I had no idea he planned violence. Their conversations detailed his post-murder plans, selling the company, relocating to Austin, and starting fresh with newly acquired freedom. Financial records showed Christopher had quietly liquidated assets and established a separate account containing $1.2 million. Funds accessible only to him. The business community that once celebrated the Reynolds power couple reacted with shocked disbelief. Board members who had dined at their anniversary parties struggled to reconcile the calculated killer with the precision-minded CEO they respected. He compartmentalized his life perfectly, noted business partner Michael Chen. The Christopher we knew discussed ethical technology practices while planning his wife's murder with the same methodical approach he used for product launches. Most disturbing were Christopher's calendar entries. Anniversary planning and Natalia elimination scheduled in the same time block, color-coded identically as personal priorities. The dual life Christopher maintained exposes how completely someone can hide their true intentions from colleagues, friends, and even intimate partners. Subscribe now to True Crime Hunter to never miss these crucial true crime insights. Our in-depth analysis helps you recognize danger hiding in plain sight before it's too late. Christopher's defense strategy shifted dramatically throughout legal proceedings. Initially, his high-profile attorney maintained the home invasion narrative, pointing to Christopher's clean criminal record and community standing. When forensic evidence mounted, they pivoted to a temporary insanity defense, claiming the pressure of their childless marriage triggered an acute psychotic episode. My client suffered 13 years of unfulfilled paternal desires, his attorney argued. The anniversary triggered a break from reality, a momentary lapse, not premeditated murder. This strategy collapsed when prosecutors played Christopher's own words. A jail call recording captured him telling his brother, She robbed me of 13 years and the children I deserved. Everything I built was supposed to be for my legacy. The calculated tone contrasted sharply with claims of temporary insanity. The prosecution methodically presented their case through digital breadcrumbs. The journal entries detailing murder plans, search histories revealing research into untraceable poisons, and financial records showing preparations for his post-murder life. Most compelling was Christopher's password-protected document titled Freedom Timeline, which mapped each step from Natalia's death to his new life with Veronica, including custody arrangements for their future children. District Attorney Regina Wilson emphasized the case's chilling calculation. This wasn't passion, impulse, or mental break. This was a CEO applying his business acumen to eliminate what he viewed as an obstacle to his desired future. During impact statements, Natalia's sister delivered testimony that silenced the courtroom. My sister was transparent about who she was from the day they met. Christopher didn't kill her because she was transgender. He killed her because he couldn't own and control her body the way he believed he was entitled to. His obsession with biological children was just another form of control. The jury deliberated less than 6 hours before returning a guilty verdict for first-degree murder with special circumstances of lying in wait. The judge, noting exceptional cruelty and betrayal, sentenced Christopher to life imprisonment without possibility of parole. As officers led him away, Christopher maintained the composed demeanor that characterized his business success, the same calculating precision that enabled him to murder the woman who had stood beside him for 13 years. 3 years after Natalia's murder, her case has transformed how law enforcement approaches domestic violence within LGBTQ+ relationships. The Reynolds case exposed dangerous blind spots in traditional threat assessment models that often missed controlling behaviors when they appeared in seemingly progressive, accepting partnerships. Today, a memorial garden stands in the city park where Natalia volunteered. The central plaque reads, "Her life was a testament to authenticity and courage." Former colleagues gather annually on her Remembrance Day, continuing her advocacy work through a foundation that now funds transgender youth support programs. Christopher's substantial estate, after legal battles, primarily funds these initiatives, a redirection of wealth that would have infuriated him. The company Christopher built collapsed within months of his arrest, its value plummeting as clients distanced themselves from the tainted brand. The mansion where Natalia died remained unsold for years, eventually purchased by a nonprofit that converted it into transitional housing for LGBTQ+ youth facing homelessness. Detective Olivia Torres now leads specialized training for police departments nationwide, focusing on identifying control patterns that precede violence. Her curriculum uses the Reynolds case to illustrate how perpetrators weaponize societal prejudices. The most dangerous aspect of this case, Torres explains in her sessions, was that Christopher appeared supportive of Natalia's identity publicly while privately using it against her. Control often wears a mask of acceptance. The warning signs Christopher displayed, obsession with legacy, entitlement to biological children, gradual isolation tactics, now form the foundation of new screening protocols for domestic violence intervention. Share this video to spread awareness about these hidden dangers in relationships. Recognition saves lives. One viewer's increased awareness might help someone trapped in a controlling relationship before control escalates to violence.